everybody. Long gone are the days of the Colonial Athletic Association. Long live the Coastal. The conference caught up with the times by renaming itself a few years ago. And tonight, the captain of the ship, Mike Holland, joins me to catch up on all 13 teams in the league. Let's hit it. Recording live from somewhere. This is One and Done.
Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
It is time once again for everybody to come aboard that One and Done train. Welcome to One and Done. Bienvenidos a todos a One and Done, your fast break of college basketball información. We're powered by hurting vocal cords and the galaxy's greatest website, drroto.com. I'm your sometimes humble host, a little bit under the weather, but right here for you. My name is Jay Heinrich. If you don't know, now you know. I'm the conductor of the aforementioned One and Done train. At Dr. William Cannon on X is where you can find me at One and Done CBB, WONANDDONECBB is where you can find the show page on all the socials. But do yourself a favor first. Get on over there to Elon's hellhole and follow this man at MC Holland 34. Around these parts, he's known as El Capitan himself, the captain of the One and Done ship. At MC Holland 34, the OG Money Mike, Mr. Mike Holland. Mike,
what a trooper!
Fighting through, we're making it. That was a much better effort in the intro than the last time out, and we made a little bit of an adjustment there with the octave. But we're here and we're ready to talk to Coastal, man.
Yeah, man. I was weirded out there. I thought I was coming on the stream by myself for a second there, but nah, man. Glad to see you here and pushing through. This is, I think we're hitting conference number 20 tonight, if I'm not mistaken. So that'll take us with 11 more to go. And if you guys and gals haven't checked out all the shows that we've done so far, please go back. Even the one that we did 2 nights ago with the A10, where we talked about St. Joe's, and then what do you know, their head coach decided to no longer be the head coach, and just about 50 days away or so from the season opening. So yeah, that's just college basketball for you. We got guys committing. Memphis got to commit today. Like it just never stops, my man. So I'm glad we're talking about just everything, and excited about to do some CAA here.
A little CAA action tonight, so we hope to CAA you in the live chat after hitting those like and subscribe buttons. 1,566 of your fellow hoopheads have already hit that button. Why don't you do the same? Hop along for the ride. If this is number 20, and I think it is, less than a dozen left. We're getting into the multi-bid leagues. We're getting into the big boys. So make sure you're pushing those buttons, notification bells especially, so you know when we go live, and you can hop in that live chat right away. We're going to wait on the OGs in the live chat to find us. We know those show up, and we hope you do too. Mike, let's get to our overview of the CAA 20th out of 31 in Ken Palm strength of conference last season. Towson won the regular season title by a couple of games over UNC Wilmington. But then UNC Wilmington knocked off Hampton, Charleston, and Delaware to win the CAA tournament and the auto bid, earning them a 14 seed, then bowing out in the first round to a mighty good Texas Tech Red Raider ball club. Mike, some quick thoughts on the Coastal.
Yeah, so I mean, you look at that, 20th out of 31 in Ken Palm strength of conference, like, that's not typical of this conference, and really over the last 3 years, it's kind of been that way. But before that, we typically see the CAA in the mid-teens, sometimes flirting with 11, 12, 13th in the country in strength of conference. But just kind of been a rough ride, and I think conference realignment has just done a kind of a number, both the ins and outs, man. So they only lost James Madison, but James Madison's been a very, very solid program. And then they've added 5 programs in the last couple of years, and the effectiveness of those teams is really kind of dragging down the overall efficiency metrics of this conference. I think we're going to see some of that again this year, Jay. Like, the league is it's going to be pretty top heavy again, man. But the big boys up at the top, man, that we have in our high tier, they're going to be kind of dangerous. Texas Tech, had a fight on their hands in the first half. So we'll talk about those teams, and we'll see if maybe we can identify, maybe anyone in the lower mid tier that has a little bit of upside to maybe jump a tier.
Yeah, we'll try to, throw some positivity out there. We're not all going to be, just in the doldrums for some of these teams in the lower tier. We'll try to find something, so they can hang their hats on. And of course, we love to be proven wrong here on One and Done. So, bookmark it or whatever you got to do. Come back and let us know that your team ended up winning 10 conference games. We want to hear from you. Make sure you push all those buttons so you know how to get a hold of us at One and Done CBB on all the socials. Follow my guy. So glad that he changed his Twitter handle finally to match the moniker. Nape C Hustle, at Nape C Hustle on Twitter. The guy pushing the buttons tonight, doing a good job. Shout out to Nape. And then our guy at Fantasy Nav in those Twitter streets, Eric the Blue, getting the studio ready, getting you the fire graphics, doing his thing over there in those Twitter streets as well. All right, man. What do you say? We just hop right into the old tiers.
We'll do it.
Here, we've discussed a bunch, Mike, throughout our previous 19 or so conference preview shows. We've discussed what, for the sake of the conversation, we'll call the roller coaster mid-majors, whose levels of success sort of resemble like the heart rate monitor. It goes up and then comes back down again. But in the day and age of the portal being what it is, sort of rating most of the existing talent and a lot of the low to mid-level leagues, like it's hard to just constantly stay at the top all the time. Some of these clubs are going to take a hit. Stony Brook, Mike, is no exception, as Gino Ford's program has struggled to find that consistency.
Yeah, man, like 4-14 in the conference last year. And if you're looking for like trends, I mean, they win 18 plus overall games every year that they do this. So first 6 years, it's been that roller coaster that you're talking about, just up and down. I would think that trend stops, and it's just going to be tough because I don't really see how they can improve defensively. Like, they've got an entirely new roster. I do like Milwaukee transfer guard Eric Pratt. He's going to be a nice little player for them as far as scoring the ball and getting their offense going. You hope one of the forwards like Richard Goods or Oleg Kojenets is like able to kind of take a step forward. It's just really tough to see Stony Brook being much of a factor here. And then we got North Carolina, A&T, not AT&T like my wireless provider. But they were 3-15 in the conference last year. And look, we're still searching for some official rosters with some of these programs, man. We expect like Bryson Ogletree and Jaleel McKee to be back, but this is a team that sub 300 offensively, defensively. Like, they got to strike gold with either some development. It's got to be multiple players, or just hitting on guys that no one else, was kind of projecting to have that happen. So I think it's going to be rough, Jay, for Stony Brook here. North Carolina, A&T. We've got a couple of other teams here, but 3 other teams down here in this foundation tier.
Look at you with the positivity, the foundation tier. Shout out to Mike for bringing the positivity on a day where positivity is at a minimum. Shout out to you, Mike, for sure. Delaware was in this conference last year, and they would be down here in this bottom tier if they were around, most likely, at least, I imagine so. But we're going to see a lot of teams here that played at that 500 level. You can see them right there actually on your viewing device already, right there in our handy dandy. Look at the way that CAA pops behind the screen there. Shout out to Eric.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Shout out to Eric. But Drexel is another one here in the low tier for us. And this isn't necessarily one of those programs that rides the heart rate monitor. Zach Spiker's program has shown incredible, remarkable consistency, Mike.
Yeah, they've been really consistent. Like, coming out of COVID, this is a program that consistently challenges nightly on both ends of the floor. Here's my problem. the outside shooting profile of this team and the defensive pedigree is not what you want to see for a team that'll hover around 8-9 wins. Butler, McGree, Drake, Hargrove, like those guys are all gone. Shane Blakeney, Victor Panoff, they're probably going to have to shoulder a much larger load than what they had to last year. So we'll see what they can do. They have this D3 cancer, Eli Beard. Man, he averaged 22 points per game last year. So if they can get some of that to come on over, but even if so, man, like just not enough offensive power, and then the size defensively is it's a big question mark. We got Northeastern down here too, man. Another team that was 9-9 last year. They have the longest tenured head coach, Bill Cohen. He got the ship back right after a 3-year like losing streak here. So kind of be tough, man, because they lost a lot of players too. Rashad King, really nice player. Harold Woods, Masai Troutman. Like the good news is they got wing forward L.A. Pratt back. And they brought some rotational pieces back, which you always like. So the expected efficiency, though, on offense is a pretty big question mark, and they lack rim protection, Jay. So, yeah, I just think a rough go defensively for both Northeastern and Drexel here.
Got to play defense no matter what your league is, and both of those teams are looking like they may struggle, excuse me, a little bit. How about the Elon Phoenix? Somehow a university that is like University of Elon, University of Phoenix, the Elon Phoenix. I don't know how they melded this all together, and then I know they don't have anything to do with each other. It's just I read that and I'm like, that's your mascot. Anyways, Elon Phoenix 8-10 in the conference last year. And Mike, a lot of these teams we're gonna discuss here in the rest of this tier and in the mid tier. It's the gap between 8-10 and 10-8.
Oh, yeah.
Everything is just muddled
Yeah.
together here. And when you look at Billy Taylor's squad, year 3 for them, it was a nice step forward, competitive, which you wouldn't throw that adjective out there prior to last year. They finished over 500 for the first time since 2017 out there, not COVID year aside, right? But
Yeah.
I mean, Elon fans, I'm sure, would like to think the arrow is going to continue to, stonks, right? We're going up, right? Or how are we feeling? We got them in the low tier, man.
Yeah, and that's the Simpkins kids are gone. TK and TJ, just really nice players for them. They're out the door. Nick Dorn is gone. Matthew Van Komen. So like this is a lot of solid production for them to replace. Isaac Harrell, the one like key rotation member, is back. He averaged 4 points, shot 39% from three. He's flashed some promise as like a floor spacing forward and a nice rebounder. So I expect him obviously to be a huge part of the attack with a bunch of transfers. You got Northern Kentucky guard Randall Pettis. I think he's obviously going to play a key factor in their backcourt. D2 transfer Juwan Carr. He averaged 13 points and shot 45% from three. So I feel like if there's a team that's maybe able to make that jump, it's probably Elon, but I think an X factor for them is Albany transfer forward Kasper Klaczyk, who is a really nice player. We'll see if he can kind of take him over the top here. But man, I worry that they just well-rounded, right? Like they got to have some guys really step forward for the production that they lost, because with the Simpkins kids and then Dorn and Van Komen, they only won 8 games. So like I like that roster a lot better than I like this one.
Elon, Northeastern, Drexel, North Carolina A&T, and of course the Seawolves of Stony Brook down there in the foundation tier. Show them some love by hitting that like and subscribe button. Show your broskies in basketball some love by doing the same. We'd love to hear from you in the live chat if you're hanging out with us watching the show live. Is that football game really that entertaining? I don't know. I don't even know what the score is right now. Is it halftime? Is it on? Or did somebody score the field goals? Who knows? Let us know in the live chat. Update me. We'd love to see you flash anything up there. Thumbs up emoji, fire emoji. Maybe like to see right there. Boom. Nipsey Hussle doing his thing. Hop in there with Chris. We'd love to hear from you. All right, Mike. There's the low tier, the foundation, as you so eloquently put it. Let's move on to the old mid tier. We got it in there. I was able little inflection in the voice for that one. Hofstra, the Pride, 6-12 in the conference last year. Man, I remember when I hopped on with One and Done back in the day. You and Eric the Blue had been going for a little bit, and then I came and joined along, and not too long after that, we were talking we were holding Speedy Claxton in extremely high regard.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that long ago that this was happening. It felt like he was going to be one of those guys that was going to be, 2 or 3 years, do your thing at the mid-major level, and then hop up to the Power 5 type of job. The Pride were coming off 66 wins in his first 3 years, but how do you go about diagnosing it, Mike? I mean, I feel like there's some statistics here that we can back this up with, but the bottom, they just sort of just seemed to fall out last year.
Yeah, it was offensively, man. Like, this is a team that averaged top 100 in offensive efficiency adjusted, and then they fell to bottom 30 in the country. So that's, I mean, make that big of a swing to even win 6 games is, I mean, that's a kind of a feat in itself. But like, coming into this year, man, they have some interesting roster pieces. You got Cruz Davis. He's a nice player at the guard position, 14.5 points, 39% from three. I like the center, Silas Sunday. If you can get them a little more minutes here, I think he kind of makes a nice 1-2 punch. They're going to need a couple of these other guys to step up. Biggie Patterson from Iona, he's played a key role, last year for that squad, 10 points, 6 boards. And you have this guard, AJ Willis, coming in from Wyoming. He can shoot it as well. So, like, those two guys are really going to have to come forward if Hofstra wants to try and sneak back up into that 9-10 win type ceiling here. And then you have Hampton. So, like Elon, like, a nice step forward, right, for this Hampton program. First year head coach here, Ivan Thomas. First winning season overall in 7 years. So you definitely,
and there's
like
some
that.
Expectations now.
Yeah, exactly.
There's some expectations going into year 2.
100%. But then he's going to have a whole new roster. So he's going to have to show that he can do it with an entirely new team. Like, the one guy that he does have is Xavier Long. He's a forward, a stretch forward that is going to probably be in a big-time usage role. You got Southern Miss transfer here. He's a wing, Christian Watson. Going to have the ball in his hands a lot offensively. And they're going to have a lot of size, but the shooting is a big question mark. And I think that kind of hinders them to kind of what we're talking about with Hofstra, just kind of that 8, 9, 10 win type ceiling here.
Yeah, that makes sense. You just got to listen, Mike. I'm going to make this real easy. If you don't play defense,
Yeah,
you're not going to win that tier. It's going to be tough to not be in the low tier, right? If you can't put the ball in the basket from outside the paint,
yeah,
you do not exist in the realm of anything, any part of contention. And you used to be able to get away with just beating people up. And I mean, we've seen it.
Yeah. You have to be like so elite defensively that it makes up for
everything else has to be. It's like if one of your senses doesn't work, right, and all of a sudden all the rest of your senses are just like hyperactive and like super on top of it. You know what I mean? The same thing has to happen. If you can't shoot the ball, everything else has to be elite. If you're only going to score 62 points a night, you better be able to hold them to 60 like Houston can.
Right.
You know what? There's so very few teams that are made up for that. We'll see if Hampton can make up for their lack of shooting. Monmouth, the Hawks, Mike went 10-8 in the conference last year, and one of the premier coaching names, just name alone in the country, King Rice, sits upon his throne for year 15 as the Hawks head coach. Solid the last 2 years, Mike winning 10 conference games back to back.
He's had some pretty good players there, man. Unfortunately, well, I guess fortunately, we'll start off with the good stuff, right? Like, Jack Collins is back. He's a solid guard. Cornelius Robinson, he's going to be asked to do more offensively, but he's been a solid player for them. But it's just a lot of new faces here, man. San Francisco transfer wing Jason Rivera-Torres, breakout type candidate, right? And I don't love the outside shooting profile of this team, and defensively, they're going to have a little more help. So I feel a little bit better about their floor here in the mid-tier, especially because they got Doc Mardar here patrolling the paint, almost a block and a half per game. So, they're one of those teams that they won't have to be as consistent outside shooting because they do have some defensive presence there at the in the paint. And then look at William and Mary, the Tribe, man. We projected them last year to be pretty competitive after 4 straight losing seasons, and they were. They won 11 conference games, and now Coach Brian Earl, he's got to reload for year 2, man. So, rotation pieces like Chase Lewis at the guard, or Chase Lowe at the guard position. You got Kyle Frazier and Kyle Pulliam back there with them. They do return. They're going to take on more minutes and have more shots, so we'll see how that works out for them. In the front court, I do like Fairleigh Dickinson transfer Joel Emmanuel, averaged 11 points, 5 boards, shot 36% from three. He's got a lot of experience and versatility. He was on that Fairleigh Dickinson squad that pulled the upset over Purdue. The main question is how good can they be defensively? They're going to be a little bit smaller. I think we're probably looking at that 9-10 win type ceilings for them as well.
I don't think it's overstated. Players like that play on big stages or find their way onto big stages somehow, like that's the sort of thing that you can't replicate. And somebody like Emmanuel can make or break a team like this that sort of is trying to find a way out of the mid tier, this find the way over that ceiling, Mike, that you discussed, where it just feels like they're not going to be able to get over that hump. Can Coach Earl take care of business? We'll see. And I just wanted to say, look at the mascots.
They are pretty elite
in this conference here. I mean, we've got the Tribe,
that's
and
awesome.
the Pride, the Phoenix, the Dragons, and then not only do we have Seahawks, but we have Sea Wolves too. Like this is an elite conference for mascots. And I'm saying that without even mentioning yet the Campbell Fighting Camels. That is correct. I don't know if they're dromedary or not, but either way, they're camels. And this is one of those times where we talk about King Rice being there for his 15th year at Monmouth. Campbell had Kevin McGee in there for a dozen years, but it wasn't meant to be here. So you go to the SEC, right?
Yeah.
You get down to Florida, you find a guy that has been coaching at a high level, coaching talented players for a long time down there. There's going to be a lot of new faces on campus, including the coach, but there's a lot of talent on that staff and in that locker room, Mike.
Yeah, he's got that national championship ring too, so maybe that'll help him bring some players in. And I mean, look, DJ Smith, he helped guide Robert Morris in the NCAA tournament last year, and he's coming into play, here. So, like, I do like that at the guard position for them. And then you have a transfer forward here, Dovdas Budka, who averaged 10 points, 6 boards. Those two guys are going to do a lot of heavy lifting here. You do have the wing that returned here in Cam Gregory. So you got some experience there on the wing. I think the biggest thing is just figuring out how to get stops, and that's probably what limits their ceiling. So we're kind of seeing a lot of the same trends. That's why I do like Monmouth of all these teams kind of here in the mid, or somebody like Coach Claxton to get the pride out of this mid tier. As you probably might see one of these teams jump, at least be competitive towards the high tier. With the last couple of weeks of the season here.
Yeah, well, with Monmouth having Mardar there to patrol the paint and do his thing, like that makes a lot of sense. Again, to be able to get stops at any level of your defense and just know you have that proven guy in there. That's, I don't want comforting, maybe not be the right word, but, it's nice to know that you've got a guy down there that you can trust to help you get stops. All right, let's check the live chat. Oh, Nate, popping back in there. What mascot wins in a fight?
Seawolf.
Seawolf? Is that right? Like, what is a sea wolf? Is it like a mermaid, except it's a wolf?
Know.
Like it's half sea,
mythical.
half wolf? It's mythical. Well, then it wins, right? Because it's mythical. Like it can't. I don't know. Dragon though, dude. Like dragon will literally.
That is mythical as well. So I guess you're right.
I mean, the phoenix. Like I mean, these are. There's a lot of mythical.
That's true.
There's a lot of mythical, sort of things going on.
And a fighting camel too. That's mythical.
Well, I don't know. Have you ever seen a camel get pissed off? I mean, don't tell it that to its face, okay? Like, we'll see. Tigers, though, man. Cougars. What an array of mascots. And I know that's why you joined us, right? Because you're here for the mascots. Well,
100%.
We're here for the tiers, the low, mid, and high tier of the Coastal. So push all those buttons, like and subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on your notification bells. We're 20 conferences in. We had 11 more to go. 20 plus 11 is 31 conferences. That's how many there are. If I remember, I was told there would be no math, but here I am doing it anyway. So plenty to go still, and plenty that we've done. So go back and watch all the old ones when you're done with the Coastal. And why don't we just hop into the old high so high tier, Mike? And for those playing along at home, 13 teams, 5 in each of the low and the mid. So you knew that there were only 3 teams remaining to discuss. And they also happened to be the same 3 teams that finished 1, 2, 3 at the end of last year's regular season schedule. Mike, I like to hit lead off. Back in the day, in the glory days when we were playing beer league softball, you would slot me into the one hole and we would win titles. But I'm gonna cede to you on this one. Why don't you lead us off this time in the high tier?
Yeah, man, I'll jump on this. We'll start with Towson and Coach Pat Scurry. Man, like took this program over in 2011 after they were 0-18 in conference play. I think they were 1-17 the next year with him, and what he's kind of done since then. It's kind of a shame that he hasn't made the NCAA tournament. Man, the last 5 years they've racked up 54 CAA wins. Another tremendous opportunity this year, and they look good on paper. If we did a top 10 show, like they'd be pretty close to getting on it, man. You have the stud forward Tyler Tejada. Just man, I can't believe he's only gonna be a junior. 17 points per game last year, and stayed. So that's always cool to see. And then he's gonna have his point guard back, Dillian Williamson, 14.5 points, 3 assists, shot 43% from 3. So, 2 really nice pieces there. Probably one of the top duos in this conference here. You have Valparaiso transfer guard Tyler Schmidt. He can shoot a little bit, double-digit scorer, shot 38% from 3. He got an additional year and obviously going to space the floor for them. I got the X factor here is more Sec. He's a 7-1 Fresno State transfer big. Like, he is going to be very important for them on both ends of the floor. When you can shoot like that and you have a proven go-to guy, defensively, if he's able to bring it, and if he's able to give you some some offensive rebounding and some easy lobs with your outside shooting, like they're young, man, but they're really talented.
It's going to be a fun team to watch. A lot of energy. Those, like, enough talent there to know that they're good, but not enough experience to know what they're totally getting themselves into. And that's a dangerous combination when you look at it. Just inexperienced enough to not be afraid of the big moment. You know what I mean? And that's sort of what you get with this Towson Tiger roster. I'm going to hit the Seahawks, Mike. I'll take UNC Wilmington. I'll come to you in a second, but I just want to say you have to wonder how many more years of success this coach is going to have here.
Oh, yeah.
Before somebody
Coach Siddle's done a great job.
Comes and poaches Coach Siddle right out of this seat. 99 wins over the last 4 years overall, including 53-19 in CAA play. That's not too shabby. And that's not a heart rate monitor. That's not a roller coaster of love or whatever you want to call it. That is kicking ass. And that's what they've been doing at UNC Wilmington. Guys like Greedy Williams, Noah Ross, and Nolan Hodge are back, Mike. But this was not without some portal hits, even sort of a renowned, a recognized, consistent program like UNCW. They got hit as well.
Yeah, they got hit, but when you throw up numbers like you just said, man, those type of wins like that, you're going to attract talent, and that's exactly what they did. So you got Stony Brook transfer guard. Oh, guess what? Stony Brook just take their top guy here, CJ Luster, the guard, averaged 17 points, shot 42% in this conference, just a lethal floor spacer. Let's go on over to Towson and bring in the wing Christian May, who has a lot of experience. And then, why don't we, get a player from the ACC and Virginia Tech forward Patrick Wessler, like who is kind of oozing with talent, just needs some opportunity and upside. So they have an even deeper roster than that. So like probably the best mix of offensive and defensive weapons in the conference. And then you're looking at Charleston here, Jay. Like, come on, man. Like, where else would we put these guys? Like, do we think that just because Pat Kelsey left, that Chris Mack wasn't going to be able to kind of handle the job here? And I mean, he did just that, man. They won 13 games last year. Man, it's a full reset again, but the portal was very kind to them as well. Jalen Counter from Middle Tennessee, 10.5 points, 3.5 assists. You got Connor Hickman, who recently of Cincinnati, but was a really good player there at Bradley a couple of years ago. One of my favorite players, name combinations here, Mr. Dean from USC Upstate. This guy does it all on both ends of the floor. And then you have this front court that'll feature Campbell Stud, Colby Duggan, 16 points, 34% from three. So he's a stretch forward there. Oh, and let's just go ahead and get this Clemson big at 7'2". Also started his career at Duke. Going to be a key factor here, Christian Reeves. So these guys are going to be able to score the ball. The defensive end is going to be kind of the determination of whether or not they're holding up trophies or multiple trophies or an NCAA bid at the end of the year.
What a shock. The guys with the talented 7-footers in college basketball
Yeah.
are in the high tier of a
Yeah.
conference. Shocking, right? You know why, Mike? Because they're 7 feet tall and you can't teach that. And plus, more sec. Are you kidding me? Wouldn't it be in our
His
top
names are
tier
Mr.
of
Dean?
names? Like
Yeah.
Mr. Dean and more sec in the
Jalen
same
Counter?
tier in the
Sheesh.
same conference. I also like how much interconference poaching goes on out here. Like CJ Luster, like he wants to play in the CAA, he just wanted to win in the CAA, so he ends up at
Yeah.
UNC Dub.
Yeah, the three top teams in the high tier all took from Stony Brook and it's Campbell and So
This conference is heavily weighted at the top. You do have a pretty solid mid-tier here, and the opportunity for one of those teams to make a jump maybe and at least stick around and make it interesting for those other three. But when it comes to talent, when it comes to rosters, just when it comes to consistency and coaching, Towson, UNC Wilmington, and Charleston all stand out above the rest in our high tier for the Coastal. In the mid tier, we had Hofstra, Hampton, Monmouth, William and Mary, and Campbell, those fighting camels in the mid tier. And then down there in the foundation, the low tier of the conference, poor Seawolves getting poached. Stony Brook, North Carolina, A&T, Drexel, the Dragons, of course, Northeastern, and Elon, Phoenix down there in your bottom right corner, which in our tier chart is not usually the place you want to be.
No.
Just a heads up. So, good stuff, Mike.
You made it. You did it.
I made it through. We got through. Shout out to Nate for trying to prompt the live chat. It wasn't there tonight, guys, and that's okay.
Yeah, it's all good.
That's okay. We get it. Hey, I know that must be a great football game going on in there. Who knows? It's probably not. It's Thursday night football. It's just always shitty. But that's okay. Hope you're enjoying whatever you're doing on a Thursday night if you're watching live. We know some of y'all just put it on the side.
After the fact.
You put it on after the fact. You watch it in the morning with your coffee and your wheat O's. Since we're not sponsored by any company, not like it matters. Yeah, as Mike drinks his Coke. All right, good stuff there. Shout out to everybody for checking us out. This has been the Coastal Preview. Make sure you hit those buttons, like and subscribe, notification bells. Follow the show page at One and Done CBB. WON is how you spell one in this neck of the woods. WONANDDONE CBB on all the socials. If you just want to get over to Google and type it in, One and Done College Basketball, just go down maybe one or two little, oh, there we are right there. You can find our YouTube page that way, or you can just go to YouTube and type us in too. You'll find us. 1.5K. So, you'll know. You're going to see my face over there. It's not you can't see me. You can see me. You can hear me tonight a little bit better too. So I was thankful to get through the show with everybody. Shout out to Eric the Blue for getting the studio ready at Fantasy Nav in the Twitter streets, the best fantasy follow, best football follow this side of the Mississippi. Which side, Mike? Whatever side you're on, that's the side. Okay. Nate C. Hustle on Twitter as well. Nate pushing the buttons tonight. Shout out to you. Shout out to my guy on screen with me tonight and always, El Capitan himself, the captain of the One and Done ship at MC Holland 34. Give him a follow for all your favorite WNBA binks and bonks on his way to $1 million over on DraftKings. He's gonna get us all out of the proverbial college basketball hood when he hits 2 commas one of these days, and we'll all be along. You'll be able to say you were here after it happens. So shout out to Mike, shout out to Eric, shout out to Nate, shout out to you for hanging with us. We're going to get a couple of shows in next week. Sunbelt and Conference USA. You're not going to want to miss it. Sunbelt's down here. We got a little Sunbelt representation in our neck of the woods, Mike. We'll be familiar with some of these teams that come through here. We'll be able to chat about them. But until then, take care of yourself. Tell somebody that you love them. We'll see you next time. My name is JAYHEINRICH. Come again. Peace.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.